Hi, I want to welcome all of you on our first virtual event. People have tuned in from thousands of homes, and even though I'm not able to see you from this stage, it sure feels amazing. I would like to kick off this event with an explanation of the time we live in. The world is in constant change. There is always change from one situation to another, from one condition to another. There is just so much choice. There's so much happening around us, and there is so much development. There are so many options to choose from. There are so many directions to go to, so many possibilities. There are so many companies, and there are so many applications around us. Actually, there is just so much noise. But do we generally know what is going to succeed? What is the right decision? What is the right direction? Out of all those companies that are out there, do we know which one of them will be successful? We think we might know, but here is one correct answer. The companies are successful that go with the change, that follow the change, what is happening in the world. Those who won't will end up like this one. If you do not embrace the change, if you do not look into the future, you will find yourself in the past. Now, every new company is dreaming about one thing, becoming a unicorn. And unicorns, they are real. Unicorn is a company that has at least $1 billion valuation. Now, here are some interesting numbers. In 2013, in the whole world, there were 134 unicorns. That is all the unicorns up to 2013. The growth up to that time was 4 new unicorns per year. In 2020, we are expected to reach to 450 unicorns. In that time, from 2013 to 2020, there was a growth of 50 unicorns per year. 50 companies per year that as a startup reached at least $1 billion valuation. Before that, it was 4 per year, before 2013. And then from 2013 until this year, 50 per year. Every week, 1 new unicorn. So what happened? What was the factor that made this growth to become so much faster? Before, what people knew were pipes, a straight pipe. Now, when we think about business, or when you think about value creation, then that is a pipe. First of all, you need capital and resources. Let's say if you talk about a factory or producing something, there's a train on the picture, manufacturing a train. Then first you need land. You need to build a factory. Then the next step is that you need to manufacture the train. Then you need to distribute it. You cannot manufacture a train before you have the factory. There is step after step after step. Now, anything that you manufacture, that is a pipe. There's a certain sequence of process. Any service is a pipe. If you go to a lawyer, for example, then first you need to give him your details. Then he will give you the contract. Then you will give him the information, what you want him to do. He will offer you the service. Everything is done step by step by step. Logistics, for example, is a pipe. One process follows another. Education is a pipe because kids have to go to preschool, elementary, high school, and then university. And after university, they are ready to be consumed by an employer. All that is a pipe. Now, any production line is a pipe. Here, for example, you can see a production line of chocolate. I believe everybody loves chocolate, but you cannot sell chocolate before you have manufactured it. And you cannot manufacture chocolate before you have the ingredients. Pipe is something that we have been very familiar with, something that our ancestors have been familiar with, because that is the only way that humans ever used to know how to create any value. You need something before, and then you get something from that which brings you to something else. It is programmed in us. We might not even acknowledge ourselves, but that's just part of us. There are so many pipe value chain models in the world that are happening around us. And if you think, then everything is a pipe. Small children, even they know what is a pipe, because to make lemonade and to be able to sell it, you first need to get the ingredients. You need to make them into lemonade, then you put the lemonade jar on the counter, and then you go to your parents to tell them to buy it. Very simple. It's all part of us, and we all understand it. But then at one moment, a big change came, and it came with the internet. And actually, not only with the internet, but at that moment when the smartphones came out. A smartphone is not a smarter phone, but it's a device that takes internet into your pocket. And that is where the explosion happened, the big boom. That is when the world changed. That is when a completely new concept came to live. People started to understand that there is something different than a pipe, that there is another value creation model. Now, here are some digital marketplaces that you know. You probably don't know all of them, but these are all good companies. They're all winning companies. And here are some, for example, some social media platforms. I'm sure you will recognize some, but you don't know all of them. Here are some dating applications. Pretty sure there is something for everybody. Now, some of them everybody knows. Some of them you haven't even heard about. Finance, security, accounting, everything digital, everything online. Crypto and blockchain related, distributed ledgers. And here are different communications platforms, communication services. Some are familiar, some are not. Different browsers, search engines, operation systems. All of these that I have been showing are successful. But what makes these companies super successful? These are the ones that everybody knows. What makes some companies super successful and what makes some companies just successful? The difference is that they're platforms. They're digital platforms. And the platform is not a platform in the train station between the two trains. A two-sided digital platform is a marketplace that connects consumers, users, and providers. That is the business model. That is the business model that is succeeding in today's society. That is the model that made a difference in the unicorn growth. That is the model that made so many companies super successful because they started to understand that. For example, a hotel, that's a pipe. You need to purchase land, build a hotel, and then you rent out the rooms. Airbnb, on the other hand, is a platform. Airbnb has absolutely no real estate, but they connect the ones who have with the ones that want to use them. Hilton is the most valuable hotel chain. If I'm not mistaken, its value is about $20 to $25 billion. Airbnb, with no real estate, is worth more than 35 billion. Makes you wonder. A taxi is a pipe. A taxi company is a pipe. You need to buy a car, then you have a driver, and you basically rent out the car and you rent out the time of the driver. Uber or Bolt, they're platforms. Even if they have some cars, then that's a very small side business for them. Their main business is to connect people who have cars and connect people who want to use those cars. Free-to-air TV, that's a pipe. YouTube is a platform. Even though YouTube also produces now some of their own content, their main model is to connect people who want to create that content and share it, and to those people who want to consume that content, producers and consumers. That's where the value comes from a platform. A library, again, is a pipe. Wikipedia, a platform. Smartphone, that's also a pipe. But the moment when you put an app store into the smartphone, it becomes a platform. An app store connects the providers, the producers, with the consumers. Now, this seems quite simple, right? But the funny thing is that these are the 8 biggest companies on the planet. They understand it well. They're all businesses that are focusing on platforms. When we look at S&P 500, this is how their valuation is. 5 big ones are the platforms, and then there's the rest. This is exactly what is going to happen with cryptocurrency in the future as well, because there are companies that understand that model, and then there are the rest. On which side do you think are we going to be? One of these big ones, Google. has 100,000 people working in their office, but only a handful of those people really understand the architecture of the business model of Google. A handful. Most of the people have no idea of the real business model of the company, and they don't have to. The interesting thing is that none of those big companies are sharing that model. They're sharing the facts. They are not sharing the details because that's their trade secret. And that's what has helped them to grow that big. The majority of people have no idea what and how those companies are doing. But it's all about platform value creation. It's all about a platform model where we have producers and consumers. Now, a producer creates value so that the consumer can consume it. A consumer, by consuming what the producer has produced, creates value to the producer. And even giving a review, that is a value. When we think about Instagram, for example, Instagram has massive value. Why? Because every single one of you are holding a phone, taking pictures and putting them up there, doing lives and doing videos, and people like them. They share those pictures, they share those videos. The moment when you guys stop sharing, uploading content, Instagram is over. It is all about the community. It is all about the people that are using the product, the platform. It is all about the people who are being connected on the platform. Pipes versus platforms, there's a big difference. There's a very, very big difference. Something that is unique to platforms is that every new person who joins the platform makes it better for everyone else. So whoever is already on the platform or in the community benefits greatly from every new person. How? The more people we have on the platform, the more connections we have, the more possibilities we have. And that is exactly the principle on which Stackcoin is built on. The bigger our community, the more possibilities we have, the more value we have. Who of you is using Instagram? If you have 2 followers, Instagram doesn't really work for you. You don't get much value out of it. If you have 500, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 followers, then Instagram starts to work for you because you get value out of it. You get the feedback and the emotions of all those people, all those followers. Now, what is the power of connections with every additional connection, every additional person on the platform, in the network, in the community? The number of connections actually grows exponentially. Now, if we are thinking about our community, let's say if we have 1 person, 1 connection, the ratio for the new one is 0. But if we get, let's say, 10 people, we already have 45 possibilities, 45 possible connections. Now, make it to 100, and that's already 5,000. Almost 5,000 possibilities what to do on the platform. 100,000, well, that is 5 billion connections. That's a lot. And with 100,000 people, we have 5 billion different possibilities to transact with each other. But the moment when we have reached to 1 million customers, million consumers, participants, members of the community, that is 500 billion connections. And every person who then joins the community adds 500 million. That's 500 million new connections, new possibilities. So you see how every person that is coming, joining a platform or a community, brings more and more and more value. And if you think, what does it mean to us? It means that the bigger we grow, the more powerful and faster we become. And the faster we reach to the moment where we want to be, the faster we become the community that we want to become, the faster we become a successful global community. An ecosystem. What we are building is a digital ecosystem. And here's the definition of what an ecosystem is. It is a community of living organisms and non-living components making up an environment that is interacting as a system. What are our non-living components? These are the platforms and the services that we are creating. And the living organisms, you are. the people, the community. So the ecosystem that we are creating is the technical part that we are developing, and the other part is you. So with every ecosystem or every platform or every community, there comes a very typical, very ancient question, which I assume that everybody has probably heard. It's a problem. It's a big one. The chicken and egg problem. Which was first, a chicken or an egg? Did the chicken hatch from the egg? Of course. So where did they come from? From another chicken. And where did that chicken come from? Some might ask, what's the problem? There is no problem. I was here first. It's actually a puzzle. It's a mystery that every platform has to solve. We have two living components in our ecosystem. Of course, apart from these three chicken. We have users and we have merchants. We need users and we need merchants. Every platform has a problem. How to get the participants, the ones who produce and the ones who consume. When we think about a nightclub, then in the beginning of the evening, there is always the empty dance floor syndrome. What it means? Nobody wants to go there. Now, when we would be in Latin America, then everybody would be there. It's like you turn on the music, the floor is full. In the rest of the world, men, they don't want to go on the dance floor if there are no women. If the dance floor is empty, women also don't want to go there to be the first ones. Unless the women are with a group of women, because then they go there together. So in order to get this group of women, what nightclubs do is that they have the happy hour in the beginning of the evening, where ladies have the free entrance and some free drinks. That is how they attract these people. The first people on the dance floor, there is some incentive for that. And when we think about our community, then what are we doing? We have this happy hour, the incentive, thanks to Successfactory. We are creating the initial community. And once we are there, others start to see and they want to follow. They want to join because they see that we're having fun. They see that we're excited. They see that we enjoy being here. They see that we are becoming more successful. They see that we have more possibilities. They see that we are connected. They also see that we are empowered and that we are empowering other people. Everybody wants to be part of that. So they want to come on our dance floor. They want to join our community, and that's the community to be part of. Let's value our community.